Real Truth Daily. This is Daily Truths with Dave Allman.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Daily Truths. Do you sometimes have things that happen in your life and you wonder, what was God up to? Why did he allow this to happen? What was God's intention in allowing this to come into my life? What was God doing? We're in Matthew chapter 26, verse 58. Remember, Jesus has been apprehended in the Garden of Gethsemane, and now he's being taken to Caiphas' palace, actually the courtyard of his palace. And Caiphas, as you remember, was the high priest. He had a very nice place. And so they have this meeting, this secret meeting of the Sanhedrin, the 70 religious leaders in the courtyard of Caiphas' household. And it says this in verse 58, and Peter was following him at a distance as far as the courtyard of the high priest. And going inside the courtyard, he sat with the guards to see the end. Well, how is this going to end? Remember, this meeting was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, and they were having this secret meeting because they wanted to get rid of Jesus as quickly as possible. And so by the time 8:30 the next morning rolled around, Jesus had been executed. Basically, he was going to go to the crucifixion. He was going to carry his cross to the top of Calvary's Hill, and there was nobody there really to defend him. I've oftentimes heard preachers say, hear how fickle people really are. Jesus comes triumphantly into Jerusalem, and people are saying, Hail, Hosanna, Son of David, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And then 5 days later, on Good Friday morning, they say, crucify him, crucify him. No. Yeah, by the time all was said and done, all the people who loved Jesus and adored him and believed that he was the Messiah could do nothing about it. And so who were these people on Good Friday morning who said, crucify him, crucify him? They were the cronies of Caiaphas and Annas and the Sanhedrin. They roused them up and said, we've got to get rid of this guy. The Passover is being celebrated. The Sabbath is coming up. Show up at about 7 o'clock in the morning. When we tell you, say, crucify him, crucify him. And we have Barabbas there. Say, release Barabbas and crucify Jesus. So all of this happened, listen to this, because the hand of God was in it. The denial of Peter, the betrayal of Judas, the handing over of Jesus to Pontius Pilate, the monkey court with Caiaphas and Annas and the religious leaders. It was all done according to the will of God. Listen to this. The hand of God was in it. There have been things in my life that I really didn't understand. Let me give you a couple examples. I didn't understand at the time, but I had to trust the words of Romans chapter 8, verse 28, that says, all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. We had our son and our son-in-law in the Denver area as pastors for a couple years. It was awesome. And then what happened? One by one, they left. Timmy went first, and then Tim Lawson went next. And we had a hard time understanding it. We loved having our grandkids around. It was wonderful. But here's the thing. I didn't understand it at the time, but God took them to Phoenix, Arizona, and their ministries are flourishing. The hand of God was in it. When I was 64 years old at Peace Lutheran Church, I knew I was done. I couldn't really do full time what I had been doing for like 25 years. I knew I was done, but I really didn't understand why God had taken away that desire for me to serve full time at this large church. Do you know why God put that desire in my heart not to be there anymore? Because the hand of God was in it. He knew that I was going to do this. He knew that I'd be called to Mount Hope Church to help them out. The hand of God was in it. My friends, there have been things that have happened in your life that you didn't understand at the time, but God's hand was in it. And you can look back now over those events in your life with 20/20 vision, with clarity that God has given, and say, God's hand was in it. So think about that. Think about the things that have happened in your life that at the time didn't make any sense, but you realize now God was leading and guiding and governing the whole situation. God's hand was truly in it. Peter went to the courtyard of Caiphas to see how this would all end. And it ended not well for Jesus, but very well for us. Why? Because God's hand was in it. And God's hand is in your life right now. Trust him implicitly. Let his hand lead you through, and he will bless, and he will guard, and he will govern, and he will keep, and he will guide. Indeed, his hand is in it all. And that is today's Daily Truth. Have a great day in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you for tuning in to Daily Truths with Dave Allman. Pastor Dave Allman is the pastor of Mount Hope Church in Boulder, Colorado. If this ministry is blessing you, please consider supporting us by sharing this channel with a friend. You can also like, comment, subscribe, or leave a review. This helps us tremendously. Come back tomorrow for your next Daily Truth.